sit back in your seats, get something to eat, and watch this movie. Don't let the kiddies see it, because, well, we'll let you hear the beginning first. Thank you.
You hear the sound of that? That's the sound of coyote.
It is not coyote, it's coyote.
Anyways, welcome to this episode of Closet Chat,
Hi.
in which we talk about coyote.
It's coyotes.
The theme for this episode is pet peeves.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Who are you?
I'm the coyote. I guess you're the coyote, huh? Anyways, I'm Sunny. And this is my co-host, Coyote.
Rainy.
Anyways, earlier before recording this episode, we were discussing, pet peeves, the theme for this episode.
Yeah.
And we ended up going a slight rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Initially, the way I was going to introduce this episode was going to be very different. Allow me to paint you a scene. It is almost 6, perhaps 5:40 or 5:50, right? It is autumn, the beginning of November. You walk outside and already the sun is barely peeking over the pink and purple clouds of the sky. It is beautiful, but it's already dark. And, god damn it, it's only 5! Basically 6! Just a few weeks ago, it started getting dark like around 8 or 7. What is going on?
Daylight savings.
Daylight savings. And as I was
Draving?
As I was
Draving.
draving.
You're draving, yeah.
Hope Karen has fun with this one.
Oh, she's gonna have so much fun.
As I was driving over to Rainey's, I just had this sense of foreboding that always comes knocking at my door with each winter. The fact is, it gets dark so fast. There's less daylight. So, hey, guys, what the fuck? What's going on?
Yeah. If you can't pick up already, Sunny really hates daylight savings. Because it's just too dark for her.
It's too dark for me. And not to say that, I am the kind of person who likes all the sunny days and stuff. No. I like cloudy, gloomy days. I like rainy days. Hee. No, but it's the fact that some people they just get depressed in the winter because of the lack of sunlight. And it's always a constant struggle every year. Because, as it's getting darker, I feel like I have less time today, so I almost start just constantly panicking. I'm like, there must be something I'm missing. I need to finish doing something, or
it's just, you feel like you don't have time now.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're rushing to do everything, to get everything done, so that way, before it gets dark, you feel like you've gotten something done.
Yeah, because when it's dark, at that point, I'm in sleepy mode.
Right.
It's time to sleep. Even though I stay up till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Relatively consistently.
Yeah, you probably need to fix that.
I really do.
I should be one to say.
Honestly, you little hypocrite. I think you're worse than me, actually.
Well, I've gotten better now.
Have you?
I have.
Oh?
It's a little thing that happened.
Oh?
Yeah, remember that? We don't want to get too much into the Tumblr.
Oh, that whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into this podcast because, that's not what we're talking about.
It's not what we're talking about, even though I guess pet peeves.
Pet peeves, yeah. Maybe.
No, my question was, I thought a while ago a law was passed to get rid of daylight savings. Am I wrong?
I mean, I personally never heard of it, but then again, I haven't been catching up with the news, which if my mass communication professors heard that, they would be like, Rainy, how dare you? But I'm like, yeah. It could have been like, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if um scientists or researchers are like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have daylight savings anymore. Or like we should fix how we do daylight savings.
Okay, so regular session 2021 to abolish daylight saving time in Texas. The constitutional amendment takes effect November 6, 2022, to coincide with the end of daylight savings time for 2022. I'm confused. Oh, yeah, we live in Texas. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. The U.S. Senate and anonymously, anonymously, on unanimously, is that right?
I think so.
Passed a bill in March called the Sunshine Protection Act, which would make daylight savings time permanent starting in 2023, ending the twice annual changing of clocks in a move promoted by supporters advocating brighter afternoons and more economic activity. So it looks like we are going to get rid of it by 2023. So perhaps this is the last year we're going to have daylight savings.
At least in the US.
In the US. Well, to be fair, I think we're one of the very few countries that actually implement
Are we still
daylight
really?
savings. Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and read some information if you would like.
Go ahead.
So daylight savings time, also referred to daylight savings time or simply daylight time, okay, in summertime, okay, is the practice of advancing clocks, typically by 1 hour, during warmer months so that darkness falls at a later clock time. Typical implementation of DST is to set clocks forward by 1 hour in the spring forward, and to set clocks back by 1 hour in the fall to return to standard time.
To fall back.
Yeah. As a result, there is one 23-hour day in late winter or early spring and one 25-hour day in autumn. Yesterday felt like it lasted forever.
Yeah.
The idea of aligning waking hours to daylight hours was to conserve candles, apparently, was first proposed in 1784 by U.S. polymath Benjamin Franklin.
How
Fuck
dare
you.
you?
Fuck you.
Ruining our sleep schedules?
In a satirical letter to the editor of the Journal of Paris, Franklin suggested that waking up earlier in the summer would economize on candle usage and calculated considerable savings. In 1895, New Zealand entomologist and astronomer George Hudson proposed the idea of changing clocks by 2 hours every spring to the Wellington Philosophical Society.
Oh, Karen, you're going to have a field day with us here.
In 1907, British resident William Willett presented the idea as a way to save energy. After some serious consideration, it was not implemented. So who the fuck implemented it? Let's see. So pretty much became more popularized in the 1900s. So in 1908, Port Arthur in Ontario, Canada started using daylight savings. Starting on April 30th, 1916, the German Empire and Austria, Hungary.
Oh, sorry. Say that again?
I thought it was Australia.
I mean, to be fair, for a little while I thought that was how you pronounce Australia too.
What? Australia?
No. I'm
Austria?
sorry. I thought that's how you pronounce Austria for a long time.
What?
Like
Australia?
Australia.
So how do you pronounce it?
No, it's Austria, but I thought it was Australia.
You thought it was the same thing? Oh my god. So, Austria-Hungary each organized the first nationwide implementation in their jurisdictions. Many countries have used daylight savings at various times since then, particularly since the 1970s energy crisis. It is not generally observed near the equator, where sunrise and sunset times do not vary enough to justify it. Some countries observe it only in some regions. For example, parts of Australia observe it while other parts do not. Conversely, it is not observed at some places at high latitudes because there are wide variations in sunrise and sunset times. A 1 hour shift would relatively not make much difference. The United States observe it, except for the states of Hawaii and Arizona. Within the latter, however, Navajo Nation does observe it, conforming to federal practice. A minority of the world's population uses daylight saving. Asia, Africa, and Latin America and the Caribbean generally do not. So not everybody uses it.
Okay, so we're still one of the few places that are using it for now.
Yeah, for now, because at least for Texas, I believe we are not going to be using it as of 2023.
Yeah.
And I am very excited about it.
Yeah, so now you're not. Now well, for one, we're not changing our clocks twice a year,
Yeah.
which was always the biggest headache.
Well, I mean,
at least for me and my family, at least that was the biggest headache.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, to be fair, with recent times, like, we have, electronics and all those stuff, or gadgets, like, we kind of automatically do it these days.
True, but you also have appliances that you have to manually
Oh,
change.
that's true.
That was the biggest headache for us.
What kind of appliances?
Like the oven, the stove, the microwave. I mean,
True.
Yeah, and then also, my mom has a clock, like a traditional, the
mechanical clock.
Mechanical clock. She has a mechanical clock, so she has to change it. But it's also very high up, so it's always a task to change it.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be great that we won't have daylight savings anymore.
I'm so excited for it because literally getting out of the house like right before 6 and seeing that it was basically dark just ruined it was a beautiful scene. Like the sun was setting, the sky was like full of colorful little puffs, but anyways, and that's how I decided to introduce this podcast. But then we started talking about coyotes.
Oh yeah,
because in my area, I guess we live in the more rural.
So we live in a suburban area that used to be a rural area.
Yeah, so I live next to some fields, and because of that, we have a lot of wildlife. We have bobcats. I saw
there's some skunks.
Yeah, some skunks. Actually, a while ago, there was a family of bobcats. There was like baby bobcats. They were so cute. I have a lot of coyotes in my area, and we'll typically hear them at night, like just howling in packs. And yes, I do say coyote.
Wait, that's because you're wrong. It is coyotes.
I grew up saying it like that.
It is wrong. It is coyotes.
Well, what can I say?
No, go ahead.
The white part of me. Well, first of all, where I think that's the only part of me.
Okay.
Because I was looking into it.
Yeah, we literally spent a good 10, 20 minutes before the podcast looking up how to pronounce coyotes/coyotes.
Yeah, because apparently Spanish speakers pronounce coyote with 3 syllables, and yet Western Americans pronounce it with only 2, coyote. One or both of 2 recognized mechanisms. Maybe we should change the title of this podcast.
Let's try to talk about our pet peeves and fail.
No, more like the title of this podcast should be 2 illiterate goofuses trying to read.
Oh, the whole podcast.
They can't freaking pronounce anything. Take a shot every time Rainy and Sunny mispronounces a word, and you'll be blackout drunk within a few minutes.
Take sips.
It'll still be bad. My God, we are so bad. You know what? You added English to your pet peeves. I agree.
Yes. Okay. You want to move on?
Sure. All right. What's your pet
Well,
peeve?
we'll go ahead and talk about English.
I'll go for it.
I mean, okay, so just for everyone to be on the same page, we both were born and raised in the United States, in Texas. However,
Howdy. I've been saying that unironically recently. But anyways, yeah, we're both raised in Texas.
that's one of my other pet peeves. No, I'll get to it later. But we both each have a mother whose language is not English. Her first language was not English.
Yeah.
So
they were not born
They were
in
not
America.
born in the States, yes.
Yeah.
Like my mom, she's from Mexico. Sunny's mom is from Ukraine. So English was not their first language. But they came over. They
Immigration.
Yeah.
Woo!
And they now are able to speak English. And and I'm assuming when we were both born, they tried to teach us both English and Spanish. Not for me at least. Sorry, their native language. I'm sorry.
I go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, she tried so hard to teach me Spanish, but it didn't really quite work out because she wasn't really familiar with it.
My brain is still on coyotes right now. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know a lick of Spanish at this point. She did such a shit job. Yeah, I think it would have been better if she taught me like Russian or something.
I'm sorry. So my mom tried to teach me Spanish. Sunny's mom tried to teach her Ukrainian or Russian.
Because my mom, she's from East Ukraine, so that's closer to like Russia. And so Russian is the more like primary like language, while Ukrainian is more popular on the west side. But considering with more recent events, Ukrainian is becoming more popular as younger people are, speaking Ukrainian as to rebel.
Yeah.
Against like, speaking Russian. So,
yeah.
Which would kind of suck later on if like coming back to Ukraine because I don't fucking know Ukrainian. I can understand it somewhat. I watched a movie, like 2-hour movie, that was all in Ukrainian. By the end of it, my mom and I were like, oh, so that's why we didn't understand what was going on. Oh my god, it was in a different language.
This episode should just be called Let's Try to Talk About Our Pet Peeves, but we fail every time.
Maybe, yeah, I guess one pet peeve is the fact that I get so fucking distracted so easily.
Yeah. But anyway, what was it? Oh yeah, so for both of our moms, they tried teaching each of us their native language. Russian for Sunny, Spanish for me. But as you guys can tell, we mostly speak English.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak pretty damn good Russian, but okay. Don't put me on your same boat. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really learn reading or writing until more recently.
Yeah.
I was a little bitch growing up. I was like, I don't want to learn English. I don't want to learn Russian. I don't want to learn math. I don't want to learn anything. I just want to eat chocolate and candies and ice cream. Yeah. You were dying.
I'm dying. It's probably one of those days where we just can't focus right now. But,
anyways, continue to tell us, tell about our life story.
Okay, I'm done with the life story.
We're like the same person now.
I'm done with that.
I know Russian, and I can like speak like a little bit of Spanish. Maybe I understand some of it, but at least talk to like respond to my mom. Sorry, guys. I think I killed Rainy. Anyways, thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Chats, where we're talking about our pet peeves. I'm sorry, we didn't really get a lot out of it today. Rainy needs to be, I don't even know, I guess I need to like lay her on the floor or something.
No, I'm good, okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
anyway. So, I'll just go on my end of the story. So, growing up, English has not always, has always been difficult for me just due to the fact that because my mom, and even my late dad, would always speak Spanish at home,
Ooh, yeah.
it was a very difficult thing. And that's not including the fact that I was also in speech therapy for like the first half of my throughout my whole elementary and half of my middle school years. So it was not easy. And even to this day, whenever I look at English, I'm always on the verge of punching a wall because there are rules that just makes no absolute fucking sense to me.
I feel like a lot of people who do learn English as like a second language typically find English to be very nonsensical in its rules, and I agree with that.
Yeah. Like, okay, so this is one of the things that shows how much I hate English. So you know the word can, right? Like I can
Can.
do this, or this is a can of
Yeah.
beans. So how do you pronounce the how do you pronounce this? Pecan.
Pecan.
Pecan. Pecan. But
it's con instead of can.
yes,
Instead of pecan. To be fair, some people do pronounce it as pecan.
and I do it, unironically, to piss people off. Because that's how it's. Because if you have the fucking word can in a word, it should be pronounced can. So it should be pecan. But people have always corrected me saying, no, it's pecan. And I'm like, no, that's fucking stupid. Where's the fucking O?
How about this?
Don't you dare.
This is an example from a TikTok video.
Don't you dare.
You know Pilates? How about Pilates? Welcome to this episode of Closet Chat. I'm soloing today because Rainey had just left the room. My name is Sunny.
I hate that.
I'm going to talk about Rainey's pet peeve of how I continuously annoy the shit out of her.
I hate that. That makes no sense.
What?
What you just said to me.
What?
About Pilates.
Pilates? Pilates.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I mean, that proves my point. English makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. To be fair, some other languages have interesting stuff.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna agree with the whole like growing up. Like I grew up bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't like read or write Russian, but I could understand it and speak it.
Yeah.
It definitely slows your development, but I would say it's very worthwhile in the end because you're able to like, I don't know, if you're able to like fucking learn 2 languages growing up, you can basically learn like anything. That just goes to show how much you're able to absorb, right?
Yeah.
So of course your development is going to be slow because you're literally learning 2 languages. So a lot of people are kind of, wary about teaching their kids like multiple languages, but honestly, I think it should be taught earlier than later.
Yeah. I think especially in elementary school.
Yeah, because if we were taught like in elementary school, like one, it would help towards the whole college language thing. Two, like it would just be useful.
Also, it would help newer people coming into the country, especially people who don't have a lick of English. They at least will have at least a conversation with people.
Yeah.
And not feel like, feel bad about not speaking
Yeah,
English.
I guess the problem for that would be is the fact that like, well, if it was like, an earlier option, let's say elementary school, well, what can be taught? Would there be multiple options? Would it only be like Spanish or another language
That's
that
very
could be
true, yeah.
taught? What about the parents? Like, is it the parents' responsibility to teach like another language if they happen to know another language? Or, it's just, I wonder about that. Honestly, I kind of wonder why the heck learning another language is even required.
I don't know.
Like, I know it's useful, but
But considering that they don't teach us far past the basics in
yeah,
school.
you have to, I mean, technically it depends on like your major. Like, for me, I am required to go into like the advanced area of my language. Fortunate for me, the school I go to, the Russian teacher dipped out a while ago, and now they don't offer anything on Russian. So now I'm okay to just take advanced hours, and I'm good. I'm going to be just peacing out by December.
Woo!
I'm pretty excited about that. But that's one of my pet peeves. Is like the fact that in some schools, like they have some really weird requirements, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea of like prerequisites. Like it's understandable, but like, what if there's one single prerequisite that you didn't do that doesn't like it just closes the doors on anything else.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a pet peeve on its own.
Yeah, and then parking. Oh my God. Not just at like my university,
But
which I'm
just
pretty sure they're overselling the parking tickets to students when we don't have enough space, and also apparently they don't even like technically parking is not up to the university, it's by the state. So it's just shady all around, Loki.
yeah.
Anyways, Rainy, what about you? Do you have any pet peeves from university back in the day?
Oh, well, well, first off, I didn't have to deal with parking because I lived across the street from the university.
Honestly, that was nice.
It was nice for 2 seconds, and then you remember where I lived. So where I lived, and from what I gathered, because I assume because it happened to another apartment complex just further back behind me, the apartment complex I was in was most likely housing multiple people, like not just students, but just everyday family.
Really?
From what I've gathered, but they probably only had it for like a year before they only housed students. Now I don't know the full story about it, so I'm not gonna go too far into that. But the apartment complex was pretty crappy. It looked as if it wasn't refurbished for a little while.
Yeah.
Like they had it like they would only do like very basic cleanup. Like they would replace the rugs, replace the furniture once every
20 years?
I want to say that's probably generous.
Oh. Do they paint over the walls and the outlets?
They didn't do that, no.
That's such a landlord thing. I hate it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
And like, oh my god, getting help to fix anything was such a chore because you had to send in a work order to say, hey, this is happening, and it would be like a day, 2 days, 3 days until they finally come in and fix it.
Jeez, yeah, that sounds not great.
No, that was my biggest pet peeve in college because it was like, ugh. Like if it wasn't for the fact that it was from 2 hours from my home,
You just drive there.
I would just drive there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't need to be driving 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Could have gone to my school.
I know, but everyone was going there from our high school. Almost everybody.
Really?
Yeah, almost everybody was going to the school you went to. So I was just like, you know what? Let me go further.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did you choose that school?
For one, this is before I changed to becoming a mass communication. It had a pretty decent biology track.
Okay, yeah, I remember you wanted to be a
veterinarian. A veterinarian, yeah. And then I realized biology is not my strong suit. Yeah.
Thank you, Quizlet.
Yep. Quizlet was pretty much a lifesaver for a good chunk. Yeah. Oh my god. I could go a whole story of to how I bounced majors.
I guess it's another pet peeve of mine is like I really wish community college was pushed more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to get your basics out of the way. And I see a lot of cases where there's people who are still trying to figure out their major, or initially they think this major suits them and they go far in it while, doing a smattering of basics. And then halfway they realize, oh, this is not my thing. I had a friend who was doing that with architecture. And imagine architecture, that's a pretty crazy like major to do, like lots of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Graduated with something completely different, but it's like I don't know, like if you did take those basics and just those, like you would have had, more rounded. You'd have like different kinds of classes which can show, oh, like maybe this is something I'm interested in. Or, oh wow, I fucking hated biology. This sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of wish our education system allowed us to focus on subjects that we would like to that we think we might like to do instead of being like, here's all the subjects you gotta learn. Like, here's the thing.
Oh, you mean like in terms of basics?
In terms of base, like...
I mean, the idea of basics is the fact that it is supposed to be a general studies.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, you do have a lot of options because, like, for example, you could do philosophy or psychology or something else, but it's supposed to be like different, like, what do you call it, points, right?
Right.
Because you want to get your language, English, math, history, government, and then you have something that's more towards like culture or, you know.
Yeah, but I was talking more of in high school.
Oh, yeah, 1000%.
That would probably be a lot easier because then, you know, because like for someone like me, we're not jumping majors until we find the right one.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'd rather like in high school know that I'm not great in biology, but I'm great in writing. I'm great in media. Instead of learning that, like,
To be fair, you did have a biology class.
What? In
ninth grade?
In ninth grade, yeah.
Yeah, how did that go?
I barely passed.
Girl.
Look, remember.
I mean, you were 14, so it's like, how can you remember that, right?
Yeah, very true. But also remember, I have to relearn things the hard way. Multiple times. Mostly the dumbest things.
I mean, I kind of feel that though. I mean, I guess for me it was a different case because I went into high school and out of high school expecting to become an artist. And the only reason I didn't go that way was because I took one art class at my college or my university. And remember the whole prerequisite thing I mentioned?
Yeah.
So I did not realize that drawing two was a prerequisite in this one singular class. And because of that one class, I couldn't take any other art classes that were like advanced. I couldn't take figure drawing. I couldn't do like a lot of stuff. And so I ended up deciding, okay, I might as well get an English minor. And now that's my major.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I could like change some things, I wish I could have like at least minored in art or something.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like when it comes to art, I feel like sometimes it's kind of like getting a lot of money out of you.
Yep. Starving artists.
Yeah. Anyways, so your whole thing about your previous student apartment made me think of a next pet peeve.
Yes.
Carpets.
Yes.
I hate carpets.
So, okay. just because we're probably someone out there who probably does not live in Texas.
Is carpets like...
Stop! Don't copy my movements.
Is Texas like, do other places have carpets and stuff? Like, is that more mainstream? Or?
I think because I remember when we went to New York, the hotel room that we were in had carpet.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of other places had carpet, but in Texas, about 75% of buildings don't have carpets, they have hard floors.
I wish my building was one of those buildings.
Yeah, well, my apartment building was one of those, one of the 25% that had carpets.
But I hate carpets.
I do too.
I realized I hated them recently when my mom got, she redid her room. Got rid of all the carpets. There was like fucking mold and shit and dust. And like, after she was done, I went to her room and I was like, wow, I can actually breathe. It feels clear in here. Like, it doesn't feel like kind of, you know, almost like overwhelming and how, like, you know, it's not about the space. It's simply the fact that there was carpet. It smelled stuffy. And it's like you get dust and shit and like my cat vomits on my carpet all the time.
Yeah. So if you don't vacuum your carpet, that's what happens.
Yeah, but it's like, even when you vacuum it, you can only vacuum it so much, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
unless you have a deep clean vacuum.
Yeah, and those are, like, pretty expensive. Yeah. But, like, bro, I hate carpets.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you have hardwood floor, you just fucking sweep that up and you're good. And you don't get that weird, like, dust stuff between the, like, the wall and the carpet.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know because, my family's home before it was remodeled had carpet, and we had to redo it because the carpet, I don't know if it was the carpet, but we were having mold in our house that was too much.
Yeah.
And then
carpet.
Yeah, and then when it was finally remodeled, we had no carpets. In fact, if we had a rug, it did not last for a good year, 2 years. Because we just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
In fact, the only rug that I know of in this building is in my room right now.
Oh, really?
It's the only one in this entire household.
I mean, really? Just put on some fluffy socks and you're good.
Oh, I don't like socks though.
Or wear flip-flops.
I don't like flip-flops either.
What do you mean you don't like flip-flops? You wear flip-flops all the time.
Oh, when I have to leave the house. When I'm inside the house, I'm always barefoot.
Oh, what the? Why?
I don't know.
That's not good for your feet.
Yeah, I know.
Like, first, it's cold. Second of all, there's, like, probably some stuff on the ground. Like,
Oh no, I always make sure I'm careful where I step on.
well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you're walking in your shoes or, like, other stuff, you're carrying, like, a bunch of shit from outside. For all you know, there could be parasites on the ground.
True.
But if you're cleaning on a regular basis, it shouldn't be that bad. But still.
No, I'm clean like almost every other day, like sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, I mean, that's why in, like, Europe and, like, some other countries, they have, like, shoes for the house. Like, slippers. They have slippers for even guests.
Yeah, I know. I tried, but like, it's been such a long habit. Like at this point, it's a pet peeve for me to have socks on when I'm not having. So either if I have socks, the shoes have to stay on. If the shoes are off, I have to take the socks off too.
You're 0 to 100.
0 to 100. There's no in between.
No in between. I kind of feel that though, because like with my house shoes, I always end up wearing them outside on accident. So I'm just like, well, you're done for. You've forsaken me. I can no longer wear you inside the house.
Yeah, like no joke. Like I'll wear like there are times like for our Pathfinder sessions, you'll see me in flip flops, but like no joke. As soon as we start, I take them off and I just start making sure my feet are like are just completely barefoot. And I'm
you like to feel the air between your toes.
I do.
Better keep them away from me.
No, don't do that. Hey, you have your partner's toes. You don't need mine.
And they're so delicious and nutritious. You got those little hairy hobbit toes. I'm joking. He does not.
Oh, I feel like we should send this episode to him.
Oh. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, we hate carpets.
We do. It's also also one more thing.
Yeah.
Every time I have carpets, like 100% of the time, I always gather too much electricity and I keep shocking myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I will try everything. I'll try not to rub my feet on the carpet. I'll try to walk, like with big steps to not gather too much. But every time, I always shock myself or someone else.
Superpower.
Yeah, but it stopped after we got rid of carpets.
It's missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Gather up electricity as you're going through your day. And when you go out, when you need to do something,
yeah,
that's totally how it works, right?
It's totally how it works, yeah. Anyway, what's the next pet peeve?
I don't know. I feel like chewing food with your mouth open.
You always hate that.
Yeah, something I've hated ever since I was growing up, and honestly, I think I've had a little bit of sensory overload.
Yeah, that I know. I remember a YouTuber's partner did talk about this and how it was pretty much irritating her, but I don't remember what it was called.
There's a specific word for it, and I don't think it's as bad anymore. But when I was growing up, like it would straight up be triggering for me, like where I would feel violent. And back when I was a kid, I also had anger issues. So it was not the best combo.
Oh, that was probably the worst combo.
Yeah, I remember in elementary school, there was one girl who constantly made a sound, like every couple seconds. I had class with her every day. Sweetest girl on earth, but the fact that she kept making that sound every couple seconds, my dude. Yeah. She sat next to me.
Oh, fun.
And I felt so bad because I'd snap at her. I'd be like, shut up! Stop making that sound! And I'm like...
Now, looking back on it, you regret that. A little.
Because, like, on one hand, it's like, I don't know, maybe she had some sort of, like, thing, right?
Yeah, she had
if she has something, like, I can't really blame her for that.
Yeah, and also, you were a kid, you didn't really know better.
I did not know better, yeah. Yeah, but one of my biggest pet peeves is people eating with their mouths open. That was always annoying and just really gross to see. Because you had the smacking, and I was like, bleh. I don't know, some just basically some noises.
So, like, you have, like, certain noises that trigger you.
Yeah, because like there's like a certain way of coughing, grunting, um, squeaking of chairs in a giant lecture room where all the chairs squeak.
Oh, that's
Hmm. But like I said, I feel like I've gotten a lot better with it because I don't find it annoying. At least I'm able to react better.
right.
So, oh, then I wrote sneezing and coughing into a hand.
You can just use your elbow.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot more safer. Because, you know, you touch everything with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, my day job. You would hate my day job, but then
We'll do that.
some people do that.
I feel like you get those people everywhere. Like
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, yeah. Or you're like at a restaurant and somebody does that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I remember this one lady, she was like coughing and sneezing, and I was like, damn lady, what are you doing at this IHOP? You should be in bed at home. You sound sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now I want IHOP though, god damn it.
Honestly, pancakes do sound really nice. Yeah. Or waffles.
Breakfast for dinner.
Breakfast for dinner.
God damn it.
I want sweets, honestly. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I still have that jar of Nutella under my bed.
Oh, we should talk about food combinations one day.
We should. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh. Oh wait.
Hmm?
Can I talk about a pet? Can I finish this off with a pet peeve of mine?
Yes.
So it's kind of there's two things, but they kind of go in it. They kind of interlude with each other.
Mm.
Being interrupted, and then having to repeat myself. What's that face for?
Because I feel like I can relate, but I also feel like I tend to interrupt people. My issue is that I get so excited, but I feel like I'm slightly better because I'll stop myself and be like, okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So for me, it's just that growing up, I always have people interrupt me when I'm trying to talk about things. Whether it was just me trying to show something that I really liked, like as a kid, to me just now trying to explain something. I always get there's always that one person who interrupts me.
I have a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Was it typically a guy that would interrupt you?
It'd be everybody.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Why?
I don't know, but like they would always interrupt me, and then it just at this point now it's just like it's so irritating because I'm like I'm trying to tell you something, but now I can't because you keep interrupting me, and it's like it gets to the point where and there are times where I would if they interrupt me I would just stare at them for them to realize that you've interrupted me.
Yeah.
And I had to do it until they apologize. Because I actually, no joke, at my day job, I've had some people have, some of my coworkers do that to me, and they quickly see that, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, please continue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
At
But
least
I'm like,
they're respectful.
they're respectful.
Yeah.
But like, it still is like, I always have these people who will not even let me finish my sentence. And they're just, and they make it sound like, you know, you're taking forever to talk about it. And I'm like, if you don't want to hear what I'm saying, just tell me to say you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, or just fucking leave. I don't know.
Yeah,
stop being a rude ass bitch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then this continues off to repeating myself. I don't like repeating myself
Mm.
because it makes me sound. Because to me, this is a me problem.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sound stupid.
No.
To other people, when I say that, it's you don't sound stupid. But to me, it's like it's a me thing where it feels like because you know, like I said, I had to do speech therapy as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
or speech classes. I don't know what it was called back then, but
Mm-hmm.
I always like so there are times where I talk too fast, and that's understandable because you know I talk way too fast sometimes. Because like right now, this is like at a 75% speed for me, but like everyone else is like is so confused. Sometimes can't understand what I'm saying because I'm talking too fast, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. and I repeat myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's when I'm talking slow enough for them to understand, and they still have me repeat it once, twice, 3 times. And I'm just like, are you serious? You are seriously struggling to understand me?
Well, it's like, I wonder for those cases because I feel like sometimes I'm on both ends to where sometimes I don't, it's like maybe the other person, they don't understand my accent or the way I'm talking.
Yeah.
Or it could be the case that some people, they have auditory like issues where they can't understand like what people are saying, right?
Right, that one I understand.
Yeah, because I feel like I have that issue sometimes. Not gonna lie, sometimes I ask people to repeat themselves because like of that, but also because like maybe I'm not like paying like all of my attention.
Right.
I feel bad. But that does sound very annoying.
It does. Like you said, I understand those issues. Like, especially on my end, I understand. Sometimes I especially talk way too fast when I'm super excited. Like you've been on that end and you've literally had to calm me down and say, "Can you repeat that slower?" But then like there's the people who I will repeat it a second time and they still look at me like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. You're talking too fast or you're talking too quiet." Because, I've also had times where I talk too quiet. And I'm just like, and I repeat it another time. And then very rarely, but they'll do this still. They would ask me, "I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?" And I'm just like, do you seriously not understand what I'm saying? Because that's really starting to get irritating.
Yeah.
Like, why am I wasting my breath trying to explain to you something when you are not getting it?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
that's
like either you need to explain yourself differently or question.
Yeah, like I understand if you want to ask, like I understand if people want to ask me a question, I'd say, "Hey, you know what? Go ahead, and say it." Or cough. Yay!
Better not keep that in.
I'm keeping it in.
Okay. Anyway.
I lost my train of thought.
Basically, you were talking about how
Even you don't know.
having to repeat yourself
There
or
we go.
like rephrase yourself or something about a question.
Yes. So if people like ask me, "Hey, you know what? I heard what you said, but I'm still not understanding it." Yeah, I will repeat myself in a different way. But when you are constantly like, it doesn't even have to be back to back. But if you're constantly asking me the exact same thing over and over and over again, then yes, I get irritated because like I just like I've already explained it to you once. I've explained it to you twice. I'm not explaining it a third time.
Yeah, it feels like they're
not understanding or comprehending what I'm saying.
Or they are deciding not to.
They're deciding not to, yeah. Which does irritate me because it's like, why am I wasting my breath to explain the same concept to you that I've explained so many times before?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather just explain it like twice and then I'm done. You have to figure out what I've just said. It's gotten to that point, which I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately a pet peeve of mine where I don't like repeating myself. And I especially don't like it when people interrupt me when I'm trying to repeat myself. So it's just like, and like looking at it now, it's like probably the job I'm currently in, my day job. I mean, not the best position for me to have.
Yeah.
Considering I would have to repeat myself constantly.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that the reason why I asked you whether it was like men who did that is because I feel like guys do that to me a lot. Um, specifically at my job, there's been a few times where I was like starting a sentence, midway into the sentence, I'm talking to these guys, and then one of the guys just suddenly starts speaking while I'm talking about something completely unrelated, basically telling his own story. And the other guy like turns to him to listen, and I'm just kind of standing there ignored, and I'm like, what? The fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I was in the middle of talking, and then you interrupted me to like talk over me about something more interesting, I guess. But it's like,
They could have just waited 10 more seconds.
yeah, but no, for me, it just, I don't know, look, I feel sexist, not gonna lie, because I feel like this is a theme that happens with men a lot. Hell, men will even interrupt each other, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I guess it's like a more normal thing for them. But like, I feel like when it's done to a woman, I feel like it only shows how much like consideration and care they have because if they just start like interrupting, like they don't fucking care about what you're saying.
Oh yeah. Oh no, like I no, because I actually it was that kid from another social media thing. He would whenever I write something down, he would repeat what I said in the comments, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I literally just said it in my thing, my post."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's another pet peeve, like repeating what I said as if you said it.
Guys do that a lot.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, they think just repeating what a gal says like makes them sound smarter somehow. It's like, no, you're just saying the same shit. If you're rephrasing it, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Even then, sometimes I'm just kind of like, okay, can we move on?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like this needs to be rephrased unless you're going to rephrase it to like
Something that makes sense to
you, or you're going to like make it into a new point.
Yes.
Like, I feel like that's pretty good. Kind of like saying, oh, you know, the point that Sarah made, that was really good, like, blah, blah, blah. It makes me think of something else, blah, 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 that's
Yeah.
related. Like, yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
But when it comes to, like, a guy, just, like, I don't know, I feel like that happens with men a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of women do that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I know for interruption, this was from my last my previous job, which was a hotel job.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both worked at a hotel at one point.
Yeah.
The female food and beverage department manager, she would interrupt me constantly, and then she would make it sound like she knew how to do my job, that's what made it. Which pretty much I think that's what made me have a really bad pet peeve about being interrupted and being repeating myself slash someone repeating what I said back to me as if I didn't.
It's like she had all the combos.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I remember she was such a bitch. Yeah, we both worked in I worked in the cafe a lot. And she would do the same thing where she was like, yeah, I worked at a Starbucks one time. I know how to do this thing, blah, blah, blah. Makes a Frappuccino with hot water?
No!
Hello?
No! Frappuccinos are cold!
Frappuccinos are made of ice, hon, and you don't even put water in a Frappuccino. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You do not know what you're doing. She just made things worse, and then she had the whole menu with stuff we didn't even have. So why do we have a menu with half of the stuff on that menu was stuff we did not carry? Why did you think that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Or if you were gonna do that, at least maybe order the stuff.
Order the stuff so that way.
And train us to where we can actually make these new drinks.
Yeah, because we weren't Starbucks employees, we were hotel employees.
Yeah, we were a what do you call it? Proudly serve. It's like, part of the chain, but not directly. So we can like accept gift cards and stuff, or like Starbucks.
Yeah, we were like, I think it was in a sense we sell the name, we sell products from the name, but we aren't the company.
Exactly.
So that's the best way to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, fun time. No, God, man, she was a piece of work. She treated you like that because she was out of everybody except for Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any last things you would like to say?
I don't like repeating myself. How about that?
Yeah.
Yay! I think that's pretty much it. I think this episode is just pretty much us complaining about things.
Heck yeah.
Just because I especially this week. This week has been stressful. I know on my end it's been very stressful in the beginning, especially before Halloween.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. I feel like October was like stressful. It went by so fast. Now that it's November, I feel like I already know that this month is going to be stressful because like school, work,
Christmas shopping.
Oh my god, don't even talk about Christmas shopping.
I've already taken care of my Christmas shopping. Woo!
You're always like,
I mean, I'm technically
champ with that.
I'm technically late with my Christmas shopping because I start in August.
You're late for your standards.
I am, but I do have everything planned. I especially have your gift planned. Yeah, I have everybody's gift planned. Except for my brother, my sister-in-law, and my nephews.
Uh-oh.
But 2 of them are going to get gift cards, while the other 2 I'm going to stress out.
Clothes?
No, I'm not getting them clothes this year.
Yeah.
Because I already bought them a ton of clothes.
Toys?
No toys. They're not allowed to get toys, apparently.
Really?
Because they already have too many. So imagine the room that we're in, half of it's probably filled with toys.
You know, it's weird because I remember being like that as a kid where I'd have all my toys scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
But like one time I went over to my aunt's place back when my cousins were like, still toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
On the second floor, toys every inch.
Yeah.
Toys.
Well, granted, they're twins, so we have to get them two of everything. Otherwise, they fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So take what I just said. Half of that is like separate them. They're both the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
More
that
or
makes
less.
sense. I feel like even if they weren't twins, you'd have to do that,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
If they were like a difference in age, like it'd be slightly easier probably.
Oh,
But
it
like,
would be.
yeah,
Yeah.
fun times.
Yay.
All right, well, Rainy, I had a fun time complaining with you.
So I did too. It was nice to have these things off of my chest, especially this whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I will say, one of my favorite things to do is to complain.
Yeah. We should just have this would be a segment where we just complain about things.
Yeah.
Just
I wouldn't mind daily event, not daily.
daily event?
An occasional event, perhaps,
Occasional
would be
event,
nice.
yeah. Just to get the stress off because goddamn the stress has been building.
And thank goodness we are sponsored by BetterHelp.
No, we're not. We are not.
You can sign up with a therapist with a span of a minute.
And then get charged.
And you get charged
after the free trial.
After the free trial with our code zip. Shut up.
Yeah.
Closetchat.com.
Yep.
You can get signed up, paired off with a therapist who would be specialized to you, and then it's so cool because you can do it remotely at the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
Does this show you how often I hear that like sponsorship?
Yeah, it's better than Raid Shadow Legends.
All right, let me talk to you about our other sponsor.
Okay.
All right, okay, guys.
All
right. Well, thank you for joining us at our lovely little closet.
Yay.
And to have this lovely one-sided chat with us.
Yep. Thank you for indulging in our complaints.
Yes, I appreciate it. I would love to hear what y'all's pet peeves are, no matter how little or big they are.
Yeah, everyone has a pet peeve.
Yeah, we're all annoyed. Yeah.
Just always a little thing that
pushes us. The other day, I banged my thumb against like the door of the bathroom and the stall, and I fucking just nearly lost it. I was about to take the door off its hinges and start beating it up. Like, these days, the straw that people are trying to grasp at, it's like a little Jenga tower. It's like about to collapse.
It's always on the verge of collapsing.
Yeah, so my straw is very tiny at this point. It's easily accessible. Like, let's say that. It's big enough to where you can just grab it.
Yeah.
Pull it under my feet because I'm standing on it like a rug. Anyways, have a good day.
Have a good afternoon.
Have a good evening.
And have a good night.
Have a good morning.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.